guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monique, and today I'm going to be talking about the underlying root to pain, hurt, disappointment, and even in some cases, anger, and that is sadness. Now let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm back! So let's talk about sadness. Sadness is a normal human emotion that we all experience throughout our lives. It's temporary though. It's not something that is supposed to be permanent. If you get into it being permanent, then there's something else going on with you. Sadness is always triggered by something. And typically it's triggered by something that has been very hurtful, very challenging, or very some type of difficult experience that you that we all typically go through in life. Okay, that's what sadness is. It's temporary. It's something that in the perfect world we all move through. And I'm gonna just say this now because I have a feeling I'm gonna have questions about what's the difference between sadness and depression. Sadness is triggered by something. You're sad about something. You know why you're sad 9 times out of 10. Depression, you don't necessarily, nothing necessarily has to happen for you to be depressed. You can just, your life can be fine. There's been no challenging, hurtful, or painful events, and you say it. So that's sadness. So like I was telling you guys in my last video, I had been watching these Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life. And I'll say the last 3 that I've watched, they really, they really spoke to me, because the families that were on there, the way they came off is being very, like they were angry. But really, as I'm watching it, I'm like, they're not angry. These people are hurting. When I was sitting thinking about it, I'm like, these people, they're not angry. They're sad. They're hurting. That's just sadness manifesting itself as anger. Because sometimes, you guys, what happens is that when we don't address our sadness, or we shove it down, when we shove those disappointing, hurtful, and challenging events down, or be really passive about them, what happens is it'll manifest itself. And it's going to manifest itself in 2 ways. In my personal and professional experience, there could be others, but I'm speaking from my own personal and professional experience. I know that when you don't deal with the sadness you have in your heart, and you call yourself saying, oh, I'm over it, when you really ain't over it, it's going to manifest itself either in anger. And remember the first video I talked about chronic anger, i.e. the mean mugger. I talked about bitter Betty, bitter Bob, and I even talked about poker face. You're going to be one of them, when really you're not angry, you're hurt. I'll even go further than that with it. If you have all this internalized, pain, if you're hurt and all this internalized sadness, if it's never been processed, you can even pass that stuff down to your kids. Case in point, that first episode I was telling you about, and the mother who lied on her, the mother who lied and said that the father had molested them girls, her pain ran so deep. It was before she even had kids. Some things that happened in her childhood and early adulthood, that unresolved stuff that she was hurt and sad about and just never resolved it. And so as a result, that same pain and hurt and disappointment that she internalized, she carried that stuff on to her kids, especially that oldest one who was ready to just fight. Same thing with the mother and daughter, same thing with them. So again, when you get in a place where you're sad by events that happen in life, because listen, stuff is going to happen. You're going to get hurt. You're going to be hurt by things that happen in life. You're going to be disappointed. Y'all know my eyebrows need help. I still haven't got them done yet, but I'm working on it. But the thing is, when you don't process this stuff and it gets stuck, I call it stuck sadness. And like I said, it's going to manifest itself in 2 ways. 1, 2. In my personal and professional experience, this is what I have noticed. I'm going to start off by saying that because I don't want nobody on here trying to tell me, oh, well, what about this? In my personal and professional experience, what I've noticed is that when people get stuck in sadness, when it's hard for them to move past whatever event or situation has occurred, and it can even be death, that has caused them to be in a very sad place. When they get stuck in that, two things are going to happen. It's going to manifest itself as in anger, which, watch those episodes of The Young Event Son, or you're going to become dysthymic. Dysthymia is a clinical term, actually a clinical diagnosis, and it's referred to as a milder form of chronic depression. But I say that with dysthymia, because it carries on for like 2+ years, right? With dysthymia, it's like you know what's going on with you. You're fully aware of why you feel the way you feel. It's just hard for you to get out of it. One of those two things, what happened? I was reading this article where it talked about, using sadness as a motivation. Because here's the thing: if you're sad because you're not where you want to be in life, if you're sad because you don't have the career that you want, you're not at the weight you want to be at. I just talked about my weight last week. If you're sad about you don't have the type of relationships that you want, all of that, let sadness be the motivation for you to get where you want to be in life. Let sadness be the fire that is set under your ass to get off of it and make some things happen. Challenge it, fight it. Listen. Every morning you wake up, there's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for something to go down in life that you do not like. It's an opportunity for someone to disappoint you. There's an opportunity for someone that you love to die. It's an opportunity for someone to say or do something verbally or physically to hurt you. Every morning you wake up is an opportunity for something to happen that's going to result in you feeling sad about it. And again, it's a normal human emotion, and it's supposed to be temporary, not permanent. I was also reading Deepak Chopra. He talked about the best things you can do with sadness or be proactive with it, where he says the best way to cope is to be proactive. And he says that instead of focusing on your sadness, take actions to be happier. He says share your feelings with a friend, loved one. Focus on improving your well-being. Also, you guys, side note, plenty of research shows that when you have any type of negative emotion, even though it may be a normal human emotion, sadness, anger, blah, 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 a lot of research is showing that when you get into a physical activity or do something that takes you out of your mind, like helping others or even just showing some type of self-gratitude, it definitely helps decrease those icky feelings that we get. Just want to throw that out there for free. Oh, one of the other things he says is recognize what's making you sad and don't obsess over the feeling. I read this article online by this lady, Hamara Kabir. I apologize for butchering your name if you ever see this video. But she talked about the 7 secrets to letting sadness go. The first one is grow your gratitude. One of the things that often happens is we look at the whole and not the donut, right? And so when we just focus on the whole, which is this small little space, as opposed to the donut, which is huge stuff, we focus on the negative as opposed to the positive, basically. So grow some gratitude. The second one, she says to train your mind. The third one she says is monitor your mood. I interpret that to mean, okay, something's happened and you're sad. So this goes back to, and I mentioned this even in my first video, when you sit and you say, okay, I'm feeling this. What is this? What is this about? Now what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do with this? And go do something about it. Acknowledge that you're going to have those moments where you sad, and once you know what it is, once you know what whoever did or whatever the situation is, what you gonna do, Craig? What you gonna do? And the fourth which I think is extremely important because we don't do this one enough. Value your worth. Value your worth. I'm going to say that again. So sometimes when we get in that negative space, you know, when we get stuck in sadness, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I have been guilty of it. We will get down on ourselves. We'll get into the, well, how could I have let this happen? What was I thinking? I'm doing my lashes, by the way. We'll start to berate ourselves. We'll focus on all the things that we haven't done, or all the things we should have done, as opposed to just acknowledging who we are and just allowing ourselves just to be in the space we're in, and be confident that that space that we're in, we have the power to move out of that space. Fifth one is have meaningful projects. Get involved in something that takes you out of your head, something that, you know, you're passionate about, or that speaks to you in some type of way. Number 6 is connect with others. I'm gonna let y'all sit on that for a minute while I put this lash on. In other words, talk to somebody. You know, if you're feeling sadness, you don't have to feel it alone. Talk to a friend or a family member, or come see a therapist. I'm in Long Beach. I also do videos, by the way. I do video sessions, and they're all HIPAA compliant and private. So just saying, if you're in the state of California and you don't live in Long Beach, come see me. May it be in person or video. One of the things that we do, and one of the reasons why we'll get stuck, is we internalize what we're feeling and we don't talk to anyone, you know, because we feel like we're the only ones going through it, or the only ones that is experiencing what's happening, right? Talk to somebody. And if you feel like you don't have anyone you can talk to, therapy. Again, I'm in California. If you live in California, I can treat you. And then the last one is self-compassion. I think that we can be our worst critics. I know I'm my worst critic. What about y'all? Be a little bit more kind to yourself. And I think in being kind to yourself, that comes with patience as well. We do it with other people. Why can't we do it with ourselves? At the end of the day, you guys, it's just to sum it all up, just to sum this all up. Sadness and anger, these are all normal human emotions, but they're not meant to be permanent. Listen, let that sadness represent fire. It's the fire under your ass to get up and do something about it. If you don't like what's going on in your life, if somebody has wronged you, or somebody has done something to you, may it be physically or verbally, and it caused you to be hurt and disappointed and sad, do what you got to do to move past it in a healthy manner. Don't sit and internalize it. Get it out. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be the best versions of ourselves, the best authentic versions. Because I think I do a pretty good job at being me. So how about you do a good job at being you? And please remember to be beautiful and stay sane. Thank you guys for watching.